Welcome to The Power of Oxygen First, the podcast that helps you stop running on empty and start leading your life and business with intention. I'm your host, Dot Rock, founder of Dot Rock Consulting and creator of the Chief Energy Officer approach. And around here, we believe that putting on your oxygen mask first isn't selfish, it's essential. Each week, we'll explore what it really means to build a sustainable, soul-aligned life. From letting go of what's draining you, to learning how to receive support, to growing a business that feels like home. So take a deep breath. You're right where you're meant to be. Well, hello, my fellow pod squatters. Welcome to the Power of Oxygen First. Okay, so today, one episode after starting the video podcasting, we are back to the old setup, which is just utilizing the camera on my computer. And as you can see, we've got Obi right here. Do you see Obi? Only if you're watching on the video podcast. So, if you're just a regular Pod Squad listener in your car, you're not seeing the video, but that's totally fine. So, tomorrow is my son's 13th birthday. My mom is in town, and so here we have the Murphy bed that's in my office being utilized, and that's why the podcasting little studio is not set up right now. Today, we're going to do something really fun, and I'm excited about it because I just want to make HR fun. As you know, I love HR because it's all about the people in organizations, and it doesn't have to be so hard. So I want to make it fun today, and this episode is going to be about the Friday firing. It is going to be about a little HR true crime podcast. Okay, if you like true crime like I do, this can be fun. So I just want you to think about the true crime podcast or like true crime shows that you have watched and think about how that could apply in the workplace. So I have written up this little podcasting episode and we're just going to have fun today. So here we go. Okay. Before we begin, I need to confess something. Just like I just said, I love true crime podcast, like a lot. The investigative tone, the dramatic pauses, the this could have been avoided if someone had just spoken up sooner energy. And at some point, I realized HR has plenty of true crime stories. No bodies, but careers, culture, cash flow issues, absolutely murdered in businesses. Seriously, though, I have fired quite a few people. I have fired quite a few people with police force present so that they could escort them off the premises. Those are your angry employees. I have fired many people with a box of tissues, and I have fired people for firing others incorrectly and putting an entire business at legal risk. So today, we're doing something a little bit different here on the podcast. This is the first episode in our Fire with Grace miniseries, and I'm calling this one HR True Crime. I'd love to hear from you if you end up liking this, and I'll do more HR or workplace true crime episodes. So here's the thing. Stories about firings gone wrong is what we're going to be talking about today, and leadership decisions that were made under pressure, and how one let's just handle this right now moment can spiral into months of stress, legal drama, and regret. This is a true story. Okay, well, mostly. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. And by innocent, I mostly mean the leaders who thought Friday afternoon was a good time to make a life-altering decision. If you've ever said, let's just do this before the weekend, or if your boss has ever said, let's just get this done before the weekend, congratulations! You are in the right place. This episode is totally for you. Okay, so here's the legal disclaimer. All right, it's a little bit cheeky. A quick HR housekeeping note because I legally have to and emotionally simply cannot help myself. This story is inspired by real workplace situations. The details have been changed. No actual employees were harmed in the making of this episode, though a few leaders lost a lot of sleep. This is not legal advice. Please don't fire someone based on a podcast, even if it's a really good podcast like this one. If you need real help, talk to HR, talk to legal, or talk to someone like me before you are featured on another true crime HR episode. Okay, let's get into it. Here's the scene. The story begins on a Friday. Of course it does. It's 4:57 p.m. Slack is quiet. Calendars are clearing. Everyone is emotionally halfway to happy hour. And quite honestly, the folks who work from home are already at least one glass of wine in, counting down the moments until they can turn off their computers because you know they checked out long before. And that's when the executive that works from home gets the message from their boss. Hey, can you jump on a quick Teams call? Friends, let's just pause here. No good decisions in corporate America have ever been started with that sentence on a Friday. Probably around the world on a Friday. It's as dumb as having 8 a.m. team meetings on Monday right after the Super Bowl. But I received the following letter from a podcast listener describing what happened next. Dear Dot Rock, I'm writing you because my boss asked me to fire someone I didn't hire, didn't manage for years, and definitely didn't document properly. This employee had been, how do I say this professionally? A slow leak in the organization. Not bad enough to fire quickly, just bad enough to steal my time, my patience, and several years of my life I will never get back. Everyone knew it wasn't working. We just kept hoping it would magically fix itself. They would magically just leave. Spoiler alert, it did not. They did not leave. When my boss finally pulled me into the situation, the instructions were really simple. You need to handle this quickly. What I was not given was documentation or a performance plan or a time machine to go back and have the conversations we should have had 3 years ago. So we did what under-supported leaders do. We scheduled that Friday call. We used vague words like not a fit. We cut off access fast, technology, because someone said that was just the best practice. And for about 10 minutes afterwards, quite honestly, I felt relief. Then came the emails. Then came legal, wanted documentation. HR wanted timelines. How many times have we talked to this employee about the issues? And I wanted to crawl under my desk and rethink my life choices. Dot. I wish we'd handled this earlier. I'd wish we'd had a process. I wish that avoiding this employee for years would have cost us far more. But it didn't. This process cost us far more than addressing what we should have done with clarity and grace over the years. Because now, instead of being done, I'm managing lawyers, stress, and fallout, and somehow doing more work than ever before. And I am emotionally exhausted. Even more so than before we fired this soul-sucking employee. Please help. What should we have done differently? Sincerely, Debbie, an executive who thought Friday was a good idea. Okay, I really hope you're laughing right now. And if you are, or if you aren't laughing even, it might be because this feels pretty emotionally – uncomfortable and familiar. And again, if you're not laughing, it's because you've maybe handled some situations like this and you're cringing over there. So, when we talk about true crime, what was the true crime? The real crime here wasn't in actually firing the employee. They probably deserved it. It was actually the real crime here is in the years of silence before, the years of boundaries that were not set, the missed opportunities for feedback, the lack of documentation of that written feedback, and the hope that that bad egg would just somehow stop smelling on its own. Hopefully, they would just leave. But I'm here to tell you bad eggs don't fix themselves, they get stinkier and a lot more expensive. So, that is what I am trying to teach through this Fire with Grace methodology. Firing with grace is not actually about being nicer. It's about being earlier. Earlier conversations, clearer expectations, documenting issues while they're still actually manageable and not quite so explosive. Firing with grace means we don't wait until Friday at 4:57. We do it on a Tuesday conversation from 3 years ago, right? It's really about pouring oxygen back into a business over time using this framework and making everyone feel just a little bit more comfortable. And no, I'm not here to hold people's hands and hand out trophies. But if we have feedback early in the process, people usually grow or go on their own. So here's the real truth of it. If you're carrying an employee right now who is quietly stealing your time, your energy, and your joy, this episode is actually your sign. Get some support, have the conversation, build the process to have the conversations with future employees. It's just like if you never had the conversation with your kids about picking up their shoes. They're not going to just start doing it. It is about having a process and holding the boundary repeatedly. Because again, in the workplace, the goal is not actually to fire faster. It's so you never have to hear yourself say, well, that escalated quickly to your attorney on a Monday morning. Fire with grace. Do it earlier, do it better, and please don't do it on a Friday. Although I do have to admit, I've done many terminations on Fridays and they've worked beautifully, but only if we've had proper documentation and lots of conversations leading up to it ahead of time. And also, don't forget, this is not talking about those situations where you truly are dealing with an employee who's done something so egregious that you absolutely have to fire immediately. Please always fire immediately for workplace violence, safety concerns, egregious violations of your company policy, right? But there is a way to fire gracefully. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with that one today. Again, tomorrow is Dominic's 13th birthday. I am now officially a teen mom, and I am also officially a true crime podcaster. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know and we'll do some more. This one was fun. I really enjoyed scripting this podcast and just thinking about ways we can do HR a little bit differently in the workplace. I'm sending you all so much light and love. Please don't forget your oxygen mask first. Figure out how you can take care of yourself so that you can lead with a full heart. Sending you lots of love. If this conversation reminded you that you don't have to do it all by yourself, download my free Support and Breathe calculator. It's a return on investment calculator available at rockconsulting.com. It's a quick, eye-opening way to see how much time and energy you could reclaim by getting the right support. And that doesn't always mean you actually have to pay for that support. If there's something in this episode that resonated with you, come share your reflections on Instagram at _rock_. I love hearing what lands for you most so that I can create more episodes like that. Remember, if your energy is your greatest asset, protect it, invest in it, and always put on your oxygen mask first. I'll see you next week.